Big Z Reviews. Extraction is a new Netflix action film that just came out this past week, and it is really balls to the wall action. I really enjoyed.
This is an extraction.
So who are the players?
Biggest drug lord in India versus biggest drug lord in Bangladesh.
Some mythic shit, huh?
It's a kidnapping. Drug lord's son. Clock's running at 16 hours. Proof of life as of 6 hours ago.
So this was directed by Sam Hargrave, who was in charge of a lot of the stunt work and the action in some of the Marvel movies, especially with the Civil War and the Captain America Winter Soldier. And this is also written and produced by Joe Russo, from the Russo brothers that directed those movies. And this is the director's first film, and I mean he did a really great job. I know it's also not just written by Joe Russo, but it's based on a graphic novel, Ciudad. But it mainly stars Chris Hemsworth, and he plays this kind of like this haunted soldier, a mercenary that is hired by this crime boss to kidnap his son, who was kidnapped essentially, and to extract him. And I mean, it's interesting because you don't normally see. The actual story is relatively basic. I mean, we've seen it before, but I mean, it's essentially a video game where a babysitting mission is the whole movie. That's pretty much what this is. But I mean, it's interesting because this is in India and Bangladesh. Essentially, the biggest drug kingpin in Bangladesh kidnapped the biggest drug kingpin in India, who is currently in prison, his son, and now he wants a bunch of money. But the India kingpin, a lot of his money is kind of locked up right now. So his main head of security, ex-military guy, decides that he'll try to hire these mercenaries to rescue him and give him there's enough money to give them the first amount of money, but maybe not enough to give the second amount of money. So instead he's going to kidnap him from the kidnappers that kidnapped the kidnapped kid. Something like that. And I mean, the actual story itself, it's nothing amazing, It's been done before, but the actual action in this is incredible. And I love that, in modern day, the actual camera equipment is getting better and better. You make it smaller, like the camera rigs. You can make it smaller and still have an amazing image. But then, I mean, I hate that some of the action films, American action films, they like to hide the crappy action with shaky cam. And I know it kind of was popularized by the movies that did it for a reason, that were actually had a handy cam and was shaky. But then people realized that, you can kind of hide stuff there. But this one, I love that there's like you can tell that it's like a handheld camera rig, but it's not shaky. And even like some of the fight scenes, like maybe a tiny bit of shakiness, but I mean it's stabilized. And I mean it creates this really, and something that is so crazy. Like, I mean, the one, I'd love to see more behind the scenes stuff for this. I saw like a couple of short clips online, but I hope they do more, because they at one point, it's kind of you're on the run with this kid, Chris Hemsworth, and he takes him from the gangsters, but then the kingpin gets the police and the army to go after him too and lock down the city. But at one point, he's on the roof of a building, and he throws the kid to the other building, and kind of like Gimli in Lord of the Rings, and then he jumps after him, and then the cameraman jumps after that, and you see, there's no other way to do it than to have some guy jumping with the camera following Chris Hemsworth. And I know there's probably some CGI, or there's also at least probably it might have been wired up. So like, but like still, it looks so cool. And there's a lot of shots like that in the movie, like where the car scenes, like they must have just had the guy strapped to the hood of a car, or like a lot of like handheld, but really everything is still really clear. And I mean, it looks really good. The only thing that's funny, I couldn't help but notice that a lot of times in movies when there's a high body count, they'll see there are ways to reuse the stunt doubles or reuse the stunt team. So like by cover up the faces or whatever. And you see that there's a lot of these Bangladesh police and military have full face coverage. But that's what you expect. That's what they do. But it's funny. Like that's the guy that plays the one that's also trying to get the kid, like from the Indian. I like that they at first, like a couple times there's like they go against each other, and these fights they're really good. He's good. I like that how they come together like later on, because they can't get out right away, so they have to hide, and there's a lot of shenanigans that occur. I like everything that they do. The only thing at a certain point when he's going against the whole Bangladesh military and the body count is like reaching the hundreds, it feels a little over the top, but I mean it's still good. I still really like it. And like I said, like towards the end, I'm not going to spoil it, but like stuff that happens, and I bet this is going to happen. And I'm like, yeah, that did. But I really like the ending. I really like what they did, and it's really fun film. I mean, it's super violent. It's gory, and I mean, it's that. Well, let's just say that Chris Hemsworth or Thor has to beat up a bunch of child soldiers in one scene in the movie, and it's brutal at times, but I just love that. I think it's an excellent film to watch. If you have Netflix, you have to check it out, especially if you're a fan of action. I mean, I really look forward to seeing what else this director can do, because I mean he obviously has an eye for amazing action scenes, and I would give it like an 8.75 out of 10. But thanks for watching. If you guys have Play from my head, subscribe to Z over there. Thanks. This has been a Big Z movie review. Thanks for watching.